This video is sponsored by Squarespace, but I'll tell you more about them later. So I've been doing pencil drawings for the last 15 years, and as much as I wish I could just spend my whole day drawing, there are a lot of other things that I'm also really passionate about, and it means that I have to have quite a flexible space. So firstly, just planning my artworks means that I need a desk and a computer to work at, and then sharing my drawing process and creating these videos means that I need a camera, microphones, a light, and a bunch of other equipment. And then also doing some teaching on Patreon means top-down cameras and power for all of these things. So what ends up happening is my desk starts to look a bit like this. At first glance, it might seem like everything's okay, but everything is not okay. With needing to move everything around constantly, I end up just with a C-stand behind the desk and a ton of cables to try and run everything. Over the last few years, I've been picking up little nuggets of wisdom from friends and from people on YouTube on how to organize my space, make it efficient, and do some cable management. One of the first and best ones was putting everything on wheels, which has been great for the studio. Everything can move around, which needs to happen often. The next one was from Van Neistat, actually, which is having loads of things on shelves and making everything visible so that if you need to, you can just grab it with one hand. Really fantastic advice. And often I find myself doing all those things, but then I need to take a lot of it apart because I need to go film somewhere else in the studio, or I need to do another top-down on my actual drawing table. The setup that I've got here is actually really incredible and efficient in some ways. Problems that have caused a lot of frustration that I think I've solved here are things like constantly needing to replace camera batteries, SD cards getting full halfway through a talking head, which is really frustrating. Audio cutting out and not noticing. And these are all beginner mistakes, but after doing this for quite a couple of years, they still sneak up on you. So now all the cameras have dummy batteries. And as for SD cards and storage, that's something that I'm really proud of. So I'm working with a Blackmagic HyperDeck Studio, and I have a server where I keep all of the video data. But before this, we were still taking SD cards and putting them onto the NAS. Now with the recorder and 10 gig Ethernet, I'm recording directly to the NAS, which was actually a little bit tricky to try and solve, but it's been done. And now the barrier to entry for me to start recording is simply just to press the little red button and everything just works. But with all of the equipment and advantages and tools comes a tremendous amount of cables and clutter and the inability to quickly move things around. But I think I've solved my problem, and the answer is French cleats. I made the connection in my workshop when I was building the tool wall using a French cleat system, which often people use. And I realized that this is absolutely perfect for what I need here. So French cleats, if you don't know, is just a piece of wood cut out of 45, and then you're left with another piece of wood that would fit perfectly into that 45. If you were to drill that into a wall and attach something to that top piece of wood that fits into it, you can remove it easily, but the strength of the system is that the force is exerting downwards, keeping it from falling in. That's if the main weight is lower than the top of the cleats. So I learned that lesson as well, where I was just putting little trays on them and they were all just falling out. So make sure the force is a little bit lower, and then the world is your oyster. You can build insanely cool custom setups. So I've accepted the force, which is there should just be French cleats everywhere. Okay, today's the day. I think everything's ready and has been built, and I'm going to start dismantling the setup and putting everything onto the wall. I'm really excited. Let's take a look at the cable disaster behind this desk. Can finally get rid of the C-stand. Okay, so first thing is the plug box. Hole in the bottom, hole in the top for airflow, and all the power banks and cables and things can kind of sit in here. And then the best part is beautiful magnetized faceplate, and just kind of sits like that. And all the cables will come out of the side here. So I'm thinking maybe we move it to that side. Okay, so these are the two monitor stands. So the idea is that there are holes in the back of everything, so when it all slides together, all the cables just run behind the whole setup. I think I should drill another hole lower down for these cables to come out. I'll get onto that. So that camera's nice and snug against the wall, so I can record the room a lot better. This is pretty cool. So the cable on the back of the monitor fit perfectly into those holes so the monitors can kind of sit flush. Okay, I think I need a big hole there for a lot of these plugs to come through. Well, they reach, though there might be space for a small multi-plug down here, which could do this one, and then the rest of them will have to go all the way there. Oh, this is difficult. It's not pretty, but it'll do the job. This is turning into so much more work than I thought it would. I'm really sensitive about the spaces that I work in. The Venn diagram of good cable management and impermanence, or something being dynamic and can get moved around a lot, there's a very small overlap there, and I think that these French cleats are the answer to that. It's been a lot of fun to try and design systems that can hold the cables, or little runways for the cables to go behind everything, or to try and bridge between French cleats. We built like a little cable bridge, so all you see is beautiful birch ply, and then obviously the things that we need to see, like screens and monitors and interfaces. The amount of cables that I need to hide are absolutely insane, and I feel like this system is doing a really, really good job. Even better is I can also just unplug the dummy batteries for the cameras that I use and move it to a different desk. If I have a drawing on the go, I can just put the top-down camera there and start recording my process. Another great thing about this whole system is that everything is affixed to the wall and is completely independent of the desk, which I'm working on. So this desk on wheels can just move around and is extremely dynamic. And I have the whole desk to either work on a large drawing or just to enjoy the serotonin that comes with a tidy workspace, which is super important to me. Also, for my drawing tables, it's been really great to just hold drawing supplies. I can declutter my desk really quickly, pop everything onto little buckets on the wall in front of me, as well as clipping on lights, which is amazing. I actually can't get over how efficient this system is. Having something that's flexible and easy to maintain and keep clean is just a dream come true. Before ending this video, I just want to give a quick shout out to this video sponsor, Squarespace. I've been working with them for a couple of years now, and they've played a huge role in my career, not only in sponsoring these videos and helping me maintain this channel, but early on in my career, I was looking for a way to showcase my work, and to try and build a website by myself that worked seamlessly was a huge undertaking. I needed a way to showcase my work beautifully and make it easy for collectors to find me and get in touch with me, and I felt that Squarespace did that effortlessly. I never had to patch or upgrade anything. I could register a domain with them and set up an online store, and most importantly, I could design a portfolio and show my work the way that I wanted to. Also, every time I got stuck, their amazing support team helped me out instantly. So if you're looking at building a website, give Squarespace a try, and if you decide that you love them, use this offer code and get 10% off your first purchase. So that's currently the setup that I have at the moment, and I don't think I'm going to be changing for a long time. The setup itself lends itself to change, but the fundamentals of these designs are really great for me. Let me know if you guys are using a similar setup as well. It's also really fun to see other people's ideas and try and kind of incorporate them and come up with ever-evolving and more efficient systems. Leave a like if you found this video entertaining or enjoyable. It helps the channel out in a huge way. As always, thanks for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.